So hello everyone, welcome to Technical Gupta YouTube channel. So the topic of today discussion is the how to create the unit test in the .NET Core, and today I will use a MS unit test project to test our unit test cases. So let's get started. So before testing our unit test, I will create a one web API project. So for that I am using a ASP.NET Web API project. So I am using a .NET 7. So currently the latest version of .NET is a .NET 7. The project has been created. So now after the .NET 6 and the .NET 7, we don't have any the startup.cs file. All the content of startup.cl file has been migrated to program.cs file. So here we will define our services, and in this section we will configure our middleware. So for today video I will create a one calculator class, and in the calculator we have four methods: add, subtract, multiply and divide, and that method will be tested over a unit test project. So I am adding one controller. So controller will be the API controller, and I am adding a empty controller, and its name will be the calculator. So in this demo I will use a repository pattern. So for repository pattern I need to create a one interface. So I will create one interface. So the interface name will be the iCalculator service. And it will have four methods. So as we know, in a calculator we have basic four method: add, subtract, multiply and divide. And it will take a two parameter. To implement this service I will create a one calculator service class. And I need to implement the interface. So it's asking me to implement the four methods which we have defined in our interface. So for the sake of time I'm copying the existing code. So I have implemented all four methods. Now as we know, in the .NET Core we are using a dependency injection. To configure the dependency injection we have to inject our services. So I will inject I'm injecting the singleton services, iCalculator service, and it will be instantiate with the calculator service class that we have made. So our dependency injection container is ready. So let's go to the calculator control class. So I am copying the existing code. see, I have created this interface calculator service class. So that calculator service class instance will be instantiated with the dependency injection container, which we have defined over here in the program.cs file. Okay, so we have a 4 methods, http get method. So in the calculator controller, add, subtract, multiply and divide, and we are using our calculator service class to compute the result for add, subtract, multiply and divide. So let's test this web API. So our project is builded successfully. Now I am running. So as we know, we have a built-in Swagger. Okay, so all our API can be tested. Okay, and we can check its documentation over here with the help of Swagger. So Swagger is an open web API tool, so which is used for document our API, and along with the documentation we can validate and run our API. So these are the what is a document. Okay, so this API, okay, so we are getting our endpoint and the number of parameters in the API and what will be the response. So everything is documented in the Swagger. So to test we have to run this. So one integer is a 12 and another parameter is a 4. So 12 plus 4 is 16 and we get 16. So our API is working fine. So let's see another one. So another one is multiply. So multiply, I'm using 4, then I'm using 6. So 4 into 6 is 24. So here we go. So we get the 24. So our API is running fine. Okay, so what we will do now, we will test our methods. Okay, so whatever we have written over here, okay, so this calculator controller is internally using a calculator services. So we need to test these 4 methods. So for that I am using a UnitTest project. So for that, project type will be the test, and this is a .NET Core UnitTest project. Okay, so we get the C#, Linux, Mac OS, Windows test. So we will select this one. We will name UnitTest project. So we will use a .NET 7. So our project is created. Okay, now it's loading the dependency. So we have default one class which is a UnitTest1.cs. So in this we have a test class decorator. So we have a decorator on a class which is a test class. Then we have a decorator on a method which is a test method. Okay, so what's why we are using a test method decorator over a test method 1? Let's see. I can use another method, public void test method 2. Okay, let's see what will happen if I build this project. Okay, I have built this one project. Now I am running all the test cases. See, it is showing only one unit test. Okay, so this unit test, and in this unit test class we have a test method 1, but we have write down the two test method 1 and 2, but we are only able to see the test method 1 because of this test method decorator. Okay, in the runtime it will only identify those methods which will be decorated with the test method decorator. So for all the methods that we want to test, we need to decorate it with the test method. Okay, so testing, to test our calculator class, I will add one calculator unit test, calculator unit test .cs. So I need to decorate the class. Okay, so I'm decorating class with the test class. If I don't do, then it will not show up in the unit test cases. Then for the sake of time, I'm using the built-in. So I have already written down some unit test cases, so I'm pasting over here. See, we need to check the calculator service, so we need to import the dependency. So I haven't imported the dependency of a project, so I'm adding the dependency. So using WebAPI code 7. So after adding, now I have created one this is a constructor. So in the constructor I have initialized the calculator service class. So I have written down some methods. So this is an add method with the pass. So what we will do in unit test, we have a one actual and we have a expected. So expected we will get from the service class. So I am passing two parameters, 3 and 2. So 3 and 2 will be the 5 and actual is 5. So this unit test will be will passed. But this one unit test add with the fail. So actual is 5, but in calculator service dot add I am adding 3 and 3. So expected will be 6, but actual is 5. So there is some discrepancy in the result. So this assert class will identify and give us the error. And multiply with the pass. So 20 into 4 is 80. Actual and expected both are 80. So this unit test will be passed. So I'm building this project. Now this project has been built successfully. Actually the message, here we got the message. I'm running all the test cases. See, now it's compiling. So we have two test classes. One is the unit test class 1, another is a calculator UT. In the calculator UT we have three methods, which are decorated with the test method, as I have already mentioned. So two methods are pass, and this method is fail, add with fail. So I'm checking what is the error. So it is saying expected is 5 but actual is a 6. So same, I already mentioned actual here is 5, but our service is giving 3 and 3 6. So there is a discrepancy between the result. So that's why this unit test was failed. So let's go back to our service class. So in the service class, now you will see I get some result over each method. So here we have tested this method and we get we write the two test cases for particular method, add method. One is pass and one is fail, and same for the multiply. So 1 by 1, so we have write only one unit case and that is passed. So this is the main benefit of using a unit test. So whenever we write our code, so in the code we write our services Okay, so sometime we are not able to like unit test all the code that we have written. So by the unit test we will be able to, okay, identify all the cases that we have written our code. So it's a best example. Okay, so this is the best thing that a developer can do. He can unit test all the stuff that he has written. So like for the good programming we need to implement all the unit tests which are required to complete the flow. So hope you have understood. Okay, so if you still have any question you can ask me in a comment section. I will upload this project. Okay, so you can copy it and you can test. Okay, so there are some pending unit tests that I haven't done yet. So this is a subtract and divide, so you can complete by downloading. So if you haven't subscribed my channel, kindly subscribe it, and thank you for listening me. Goodbye.